My fiance, 28 female, stays out for hours every night and is lying about it, and it's broken my heart. Too long did not read. My fiance's job closes at 10 p.m. and she regularly gets home at 3-4 am, sometimes later. I don't really think she's cheating or anything nefarious, but she's definitely fudging the truth for all those unaccounted for hours, and my heart is beyond broken. Her late hours and lack of communication have me feeling like a roommate rather than a future spouse. For many years, my 30 male fiance, 28 female, worked a 8-4 job just like me. We would see each other every day and life was so grand. But her job wasn't a great fit and she eventually left, stumbling into the craft cocktail industry in 2021 and realizing that she had really found her niche and passion. She began as a bartender at a very upscale restaurant that does craft drinks, and it wasn't long until she was bar shift lead, then bar manager, and now is training as assistant manager for the entire restaurant. She's really busted her butt and has worked incredibly hard to move up the ladder in this industry that she loves. However, our schedules have switched from parallel to completely opposite. I work morning to afternoon and she works afternoon to night. I never see her anymore. Something that has become a major problem is the fact that she has started coming home hours and hours later than the operating hours of the restaurant. I realize that when restaurants close, say, at 10 p.m. like hers, closing staff is sometimes stuck for another hour or two afterward. I get it. And if she were coming home at midnight or even 1 a.m. it would make sense. But lately she's been getting home at 3:30, 4:30, and even one time I was getting up for work at 5:45 a.m. and she was still not home yet. I wake up in the middle of the night to an empty bed and the kitchen light still on, signifying that she hasn't been home. I've already confronted her, asking why she's out so late and if she can just send me a single text, just one, so when I wake up at 3 a.m. and she's not there I at least know she's not dead. She apologizes and says she'll be sure to send a message. But it keeps happening: out late, no text. Out late, no text. I confront her every time because it truly scares me that she might be in an accident somewhere and I have no idea when to expect her back, so I don't know if I need to call for help. She always apologizes and says it won't happen again, but then it does. She tells me, "Oh, I've just been sitting in my car listening to music," or, "I was talking with a friend about serious stuff in her life," but I've come to find out that sometimes she is not telling the truth. "I just went to X bar for a drink with a friend." But then her co-workers will post images of her at Y bar or Z bar in a huge group on their Instagram stories. Why would she leave this out? There's not one specific person she's ever with. I really don't have any suspicions that she is cheating. The breaking point has been last weekend and then last night. Because we work opposite schedules, we basically have to plan the time that we will see each other. Last Friday night we had a plan to hang out when she got off work, and she texted me at around 11 p.m. from work asking if we could have a cute hangout at home. I said hell yes and stayed up, turned on some jams, poured some wine and got a movie ready. No call or text. She comes home 3 hours later at 2 a.m. By that point, I'm going to bed. She says, sorry, took forever to close up, and that she was too busy to send me a text the entire 3 hours. And then last night, she was getting out early. She texted me at 9:55 p.m. saying, I'm about to set the building alarm and walk out. And the next thing I know, she's crawling into bed at 4:35 a.m. this morning. 6.5 hours totally unaccounted for. I've been at work all day and haven't been able to talk to her about it yet. I guess what I really need is another angle. Is there someone in the restaurant industry who can attest to it taking many hours for closing? That you're too busy to send a text about your lateness. I feel insane and totally lonely. If you couldn't guess, we got engaged right before she took this job. I'm not sure we would be engaged now if any of this had been happening before. Info: fiance and I have been together for 8 years. Having worked in the restaurant per bar industry years ago, I can tell you that drug use and binge drinking runs rampant in the culture. Or she's so keyed up from working she can't sleep after work, or she is cheating but she's good at hiding it. She's not being honest with you. She's not being true to her word. Your schedules don't jive. You don't spend any time together. Whatever the reason for her behavior, it isn't working for you. Time for a come to Jesus talk. I worked as a bartender, a club manager for some years. She probably is not cheating. This work life is so hard and the only ones who understand are the people you work with. People who work 9-5 jobs just don't get it. They are the kind of people we serve. When we are off we need time to cool down. We need time to talk to our colleagues and late night hours after work becomes our free time. Then we go home, sleep, wake up, eat something, get ready and get to work. She could be drinking or doing drugs, but in my experience she doesn't have to be addicted to anything. It's a restaurant business thing to stay late hours with your co-workers after hours. Whatever the problem is, she's taking full advantage of your unconfrontational demeanor. The foot needs to go down and you need to stand up for yourself. Insincere apologies isn't even remotely good enough. I wonder if you could see which bar she frequents and go see what she is doing without her knowing you are there. Or go and let her know and see how that reaction goes. Sounds like substance abuse to me. Your fiancé sounds a lot like me. It's a part of the lifestyle of the industry. I'm guessing most likely she is out drinking and probably doing drugs with the people she's met working there. I guess most likely it's relatively common, she could have easily been exposed to it in the bar scene and it would keep her awake for hours. If she was getting high she would have to stay away until it wore off. People high on coke can be very loud and very obnoxious and there would be no way to hide it and she wouldn't be able to get in bed to sleep anyway. It's the easy answer, but I'm telling you, she's cheating.